Let's talk about my table setup here real quick. A couple of things that I've done. One, I've made these little, if you will, soft 3D prints so that I'm able to organize my cable, and I can pull these out because it's been split on the top. So split on the top, I can pull out my cable, and then my ETS is easily in, controlled, manipulated. If I want to do any more, I can always do that. But that was just a simple thing that I just did, designed in Tinkercad. And with that, it helps organize your cords. The other thing that I've done in order to kind of organize things is setting up my slide or my rule. Let me show you. One of the things I've already done is I've run a dial indicator across the edge just to make sure that I am square. Now with that, I can come in and use my speed square or machinist square, and I'll go through and I'll double check to make sure that my fence is in alignment. And whatever tool you have, you can use any of those. And this just gives you a setup to make sure that it is square. And then you can also run your dial indicator right along that edge as well. And that'll just help line everything. The reason I like to do that is I want to be able to set things up fast. So once I have my piece of wood lined up, I'm able to go ahead and start clamping down. Let's do that, and then we're just going to mark a couple of things. All right, let's just review a few things that I've done. I have my big clamps and a couple of things. I need to make sure that my screw is going straight up and down. That way I'm getting the correct alignment of pressure. I also want to make sure that only the tip is actually in contact. I don't want this back edge against the wood. Otherwise, we start to be pushing the material around. Then you can see, again, I'm a little bit tight on my 7-inch board, but that's not too bad. I can go ahead and work with that. The reason I have this set here is this is my setup for when I'm using my electronic tool setter, my ETS. This I just have set up so that I can speed quick my alignment, and then I'm able to mark my wood. What I want to do is go ahead and take my 3/4 inch, or my 19 and 19 millimeter, so I can just kind of see where everything is going to be located. But again, I do want to set this up where my work coordinate offset is right here. Now, as we come back, you may have noticed that I've actually moved this board forward. I want a little bit more clearance. If I'm doing my Z and XY axis work coordinate offset off this corner, I don't want to be that close to the clamp. So I made that adjustment as I looked at my setup and I wasn't happy with it. And then I can just run my finger across that edge. And again, touch is really good in terms of figuring out measurements as well as your eyeballs. And we're going to go through a couple of those. Now for students, I have a visual setup. I know my safe zone in terms of where I need to make sure that the mill and the collet are not running with that spindle, as this will be then our location. And if I lay my prototype up here, we can get a rough visualization of where our profile will be cutting around. And obviously we will have to be surfacing. This surface right here is not very smooth, so that's going to be one of the first applications that we do before we start going into the rest of the milling process.